All right, we'll go down to all the viewers. In the midst of all the chaos and all the reaction to the United States missing the World Cup, um, you see a lot of these so-called analysts and ex-pro soccer players, pro men's national team players come out and criticize the U.S. men's national team, and deservedly so. Okay, deservedly so. All right, the men's national team has been a mess for the past decade. Okay, and for those of you that want to go ahead and argue with me in regards to the development of United States soccer in the past decade, or maybe decade plus, you're a fool. Okay, you're a fool. If you believe that the United States is heading in the right direction, all right, it's pretty obvious, and this is this should be the writing on the wall for a lot of people within the federation. Okay, if the United States Federation is smart, they'd go ahead and can everybody. Okay, they'd go ahead and dump everybody, and they'd start from scratch. Okay, but anyways, this is the rant that former forward in the MLS and men's national team Taylor Twellman had um, after the United States missed the World Cup, the qualifier. So I'm gonna go ahead and play it, and then I'll give you my reaction to it.
I mean, this begins at somebody. You were watching the game. I came down there at halftime, and your face, you looked like you saw a ghost. And this was, we saw on Friday that U.S. maybe said.
Now let me just say, I didn't watch, but maybe 15, 20 minutes of the first half of the Trinidad Tobago and United States game, and it was the most despicable soccer that I've ever seen in my life. Okay, as far as high level quality soccer, I mean, it was just terrible. Okay, there's no shape, there's no discipline, there's no heart. I don't care what you say about American spirit. I don't care what you say about any of that stuff. It's pathetic. It was the most boring soccer that I've ever watched, and that's indicative of the United States level of soccer where it's at right now in 2017. Okay? Right now in 2017. But let me go ahead and play it.
We turned the corner. They didn't. This. You look at the body of work. What do you say about this program, this team?
It's not just about tonight. And anyone at home, sitting at home, saying it's about the game against Trinidad and Tobago, 100% unequivocally, it is not about tonight.
And that's a true statement. Okay? And that's a true statement. It's not about one game. For those of you that want to blame refs, those of you that want to blame the Panama goal or whatever it was that shouldn't have been a goal, keep it shut. Okay, keep it shut. There's absolutely no excuse why the United States shouldn't be in the World Cup every single round of qualifications that come through. There's no reason. Absolutely no reason. The CONCACAF is made for the United States and Mexico to go to the World Cup every single 4 years.
It is a complete embarrassment when you look at CONCACAF for the amount of resources and the amount of money that is put into our sport. Here's what I said. If you can't beat Panama at home and you can't beat Trinidad on the road, you don't deserve to go to the World Cup. Expect the unexpected, though, Max. This is an own goal from Omar.
Look at Omar Gonzalez. That is just pathetic. That is just pathetic. I mean, first of all, Omar Gonzalez shouldn't be playing on the national team. I don't care how you feel about him. The man is not a quality center back. Okay? He's maybe average, but he's below average to average at best. Okay? Omar Gonzalez is not a good player. And if you're going to tell me that the United States can't find a better center back, well, then that's a problem with the with the scouting and the development within the United States. But we'll get to that later.
Omar Gonzalez. Guess what? Omar Gonzalez is going to have.
Tim Howard is damn near 40 years old. If he isn't already. I mean, I haven't, looked up his age. I probably should have, but he doesn't need to be playing national team soccer no more. All right. He doesn't need to be playing national team soccer. I don't care what your feelings are about him. He doesn't need to be playing no more.
I have nightmares about that. Tim Howard, he makes
Garbage.
that save in his sleep in years past, but he's slow to.
The key that Taylor Twellman said there was years past. Okay. And yes, he's past his time. Okay. Tim Howard is past his time. All right. In years past, there's no excuse. I really don't care. I really don't care. You're gonna tell me in the pool of players, as far as keepers that the United States can choose all around the country, they can't do any better than Tim Howard? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
React. And so now you're relying on other results, which for the life of me, I don't understand. And I heard some people even during the broadcast say, well, the players need to know the results. The results is simple.
Take care of business.
Get a point, you're in.
You're in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. 100%. Taylor Twellman just hit it on the head. It's not about other people doing the job for you. Okay. You have an opportunity, to set yourself up to a trip to Russia in 2018. Okay. And you blew it. Don't rely on anybody else to clean up your trash. You do it yourself.
The fact is, though, Max, it's not about tonight. It's not about Jurgen Klinsmann. It's not just about Bruce Arena. As a whole, U.S. soccer is not prepared. They have not done a good enough job of getting this group ready to play. And keep in mind, the last two Olympics, no United States. Those players that would be playing in the Olympics, 24 through 28, how many of them are in this roster?
Now, let me just say this. Where's the outrage, okay, for the United States not representing soccer in the Olympics, the last two Olympics? Where's the outrage for that? Okay? All right, that's a sign of things to come. All right, that's a sign of things to come. And you guys need to recognize that. All you soccer fans need to start to understand. We focus on the World Cup and things like that, but let me tell you something, all right? National teams like Brazil, national teams like Germany, national teams like Argentina, believe it or not, they care about the Olympics. All right, that's their time where they start to put in these young kids from the U21s and the U17s, and they give them a shot at senior level soccer. Okay. And they give them an opportunity to win something that's, something prestigious within the sport. Okay. Obviously, winning the Olympics isn't as prestigious as the World Cup because the World Cup is exclusively for soccer. But you got to understand some of these federations, how they develop players is they utilize the Olympics to see what type of players are they going to be having in the World Cup. And when the United States isn't represented in the Olympics for soccer, that's a red flag right there, especially the last two Olympics. All right, especially the last two Olympics. It's pathetic. All right, and again, that goes down to the youth development, but we'll get there later.
The players got to be good enough too. So a lot of people on social media right now want to say,
which is true. Okay, a lot of people wanted to blame Jurgen Klinsmann when he was coaching about not getting the result that he needed here, the result that he needed there. Let me tell you something. Jurgen Klinsmann did the best he could with the players that he was given. Okay. Now I've been on record with most of my peers as saying that Jurgen Klinsmann back in 2010 he did a post game interview on ESPN. Before he was hired on as the men's national team head coach. He went on record as exposing the United States development. Okay. Now he said that the rest of the world, that the United States is backwards in regards to the rest of the world as far as the developmental pyramid. Okay. Now, he made the point that the youth in the United States, they pay to play soccer. Okay. And the goal is to get a scholarship in high school or on the collegiate level. Okay. Now, the rest of the world, when they're playing soccer, they want to go pro. Okay? They want to go pro. Now, part of the reason that the United States' development is in the crapper right now is because they're not utilizing the youth development seriously. They're not taking it seriously. It's all about money. It's all about money. And it's very political. Okay? You mean to tell me that you cannot come to states like Texas, Florida, Southern Cal, okay, Georgia, Oklahoma, and find quality players, national team players? Okay, where I'm from, I'm living in Texas. Where I'm from, man, I've seen players come through the ranks, the youth ranks, where I say, man, if they do not harness this kid's talent, it's over. If they do not give him national team or youth national team a call up, it's over. And guess what? These kids that I see coming through the youth academies, they go straight to college. And guess what? They do their 4 years and they're done playing soccer. And then they're playing on little men's leagues on Sundays with 37, 40-year-olds who want to go in cleats up and pretty much put an end to their career. And they end up tearing an ACL and they never play soccer again. Okay? That's the state. Excuse me. That's the state of U.S. soccer right now. Okay? Because the federation, and I don't want to get here, to this level. I don't want to make it about this issue, but I'm gonna raise this issue. Okay? Because Jurgen Klinsmann made a good comparison in regards to this too. He said, if you want to get serious about your development, okay, you got to go to urban areas. He said it's like basketball. Okay, he compared it to basketball, where if you want to get serious about development, where you want to find real athletes, real players who are committed, you got to go to the urban areas, okay, and find these players. Okay? And he stated the fact that you need to tap into the Hispanic community, in the lower class community in order to get the type of development that you need. Kids that are hungry to get out of their circumstances. And I completely agree. Okay? And I said this back in 2010. I said, man, Jurgen Klinsmann needs to be the next head coach of the men's national team. They need to get Bob Bradley out of there. Okay? Because Bob Bradley wasn't worth the damn anyways. Okay? And I don't care what y'all say. Bob Bradley was just another pawn, just like Bruce Arena. Okay? Now with that being said, where I'm from, I see quality players every day of the week. Most of them Hispanic. Now, where are the Hispanics on the men's national team? Huh? Where are the Hispanics that have the type of quality that you need to be successful, okay, on a national team, on a national level, on a senior level? Where are those players in key positions? Midfield, right mid, center mid, okay? In many cases, forward. Where are these players? You don't see them, right? What you see is big, physical, white players, okay, that aren't worth a damn. They're not athletic enough, Okay? They're strong. I'll give them that. They're strong. They have a decent IQ. All right? But they're not good enough. Okay? England is at that crossroads as well. All right? They're just not good enough. And the rest of the world is passing you by. The rest of the world is passing you by. All right? We can't model ourselves after Germany because we don't have the type of quality to be Germany. We can't model ourselves after, an old school England because we don't have the type of players to be an old school England. All right? We don't have a Scholes. We don't have a Beckham. We don't have an Owens. We don't have those type of players. Okay? Another reason is the MLS. It's poor quality. And I don't care what you think. I don't care what you say. All right? I'm really not concerned with your opinion regarding the MLS. The league is trash. Okay? And when your so-called top players are MLS players, you're never going to make it. Perfect example, Pulisic. Okay? What's he, 19 years old? He's better than the entire national team. Why? Because he's playing serious soccer in the Bundesliga. Okay? He made a decision when he was 16 years old to go ahead and take his talents to Germany, and they developed him the way that a player should in Europe. All right? When your best players are playing soccer in the MLS, which is a joke. Okay? And like I said, I don't care what you say. It's a joke. All right? When your best players are playing or MLS players, you're never going to make it. The rest of the world, peace. Unless you're playing Champions League soccer or Euro League soccer, you're not going to make it. All right? Your best players need to come from quality leagues around the world, the best leagues. But let me go ahead and go.
Say it's Jurgen Klinsmann's fault. It's Bruce Arena's fault. It's Sunil Gulati's fault. By the way, as an ex-player, every single one of those players,
they can take some
nightmares
yep.
for the rest of their lives because this is an utter embarrassment with the amount of money.
I'm not sure they're going to have nightmares. They may be upset. But to be quite frank, there's no accountability. So I really don't think they care. I think they'll be okay. And they're probably going to get the call up again soon. All right? They're probably going to get the call up again soon, which is a damn shame.
That is in Major League Soccer and in this sport. You can't get a draw, a tie against Trinidad?
Exactly.
Max, you don't deserve to go to the World Cup.
They certainly did. And people always say about it's tough to get points here, but I see Mexico get
come
points.
on.
We can stop using that excuse.
Yes.
This is you look at this team, you look at this. They're going to be sitting around next summer and they're going to be watching this World Cup go on without them. So what does this program do? Is this group, do you blow it up?
This is everything though, Matt.
That's the only thing you can do. All right. And for those of you that want to disagree, let me tell you something. You're stuck on mediocrity. All right. That's your mindset, is mediocrity. If you don't believe that the entire federation should get blown up, okay, then you're stuck with mediocrity. Period.
So, because I remind everyone, 2,000 euros, Germany laid an egg, and they all came together. Bundesliga, second Bundesliga, DFB, the German Football Federation, all came together with a 10-year plan. Guess what happened in 10 years? They won that World Cup.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And let me tell you something, man. Taylor Twellman just knocked it out of the park with that statement, okay? Taylor Twellman pretty much just laid out the entire foundation that Germany had after the 2,000 euros. Okay. Now I want you guys to kind of do your homework and backtrack what happened after the 2,000 euros after Germany blew it. Okay. 2002 World Cup comes around. What happens? They're in the final three. Actually, they're in the finals. They go to the finals. They lose to Brazil. Okay. 2006 comes around. They get third place. Okay. 2010 comes around, they get third place again. But you can see that they were trending upward. They were dominating. They were dominating in the group stage. They were dominating in the round of 16. They were dominating in the quarters. They would dominate in the semis, but they just couldn't get that last. They couldn't get that last goal. They couldn't get that last. They couldn't win the big one when it really mattered. When it really mattered, it really came down to perform. They couldn't do it. All right, they couldn't do it. But you knew that they were still going to be a force to be reckoned with. And in the last World Cup, and you saw this coming, because you see how these players in Bayern were coming through, the Müllers, the Toni Kroos, Ozil. I mean, you saw these players coming through the ranks, and you knew. And I'm telling you, they were on the right track. They were on the right track, and they knew. They put together a plan, and they knew what their goal was in the next 5 to 10 years. Okay, and they were able to get it. They won the last World Cup. I mean, there's just no excuse for the United States. It's just time to blow it up. We got to restart. All right.
If this failure does not wake up everyone from U.S. Soccer to Major League Soccer, from pay-to-play to broadcasters to everything, then we're all insane.
Well, it should have woke you up a long time ago. It should have woke you up a long time ago. Like I said, the last 2 Olympics. I mean, let's just be honest, man. The media doesn't help. You know, the media just gets behind the men's national team every World Cup, and they expect to win it. Well, I guess they're delusional. Okay, they don't understand the game. All right, they don't understand the game. When Jurgen Klinsmann came out and he said that we're probably not going to win the World Cup, the media went crazy. Okay, why would you? I remember Michael Wilbon said, "You idiot! Why would you even coach this team?" He said he's never won anything. He's never won anything. Michael Wilbon is going to sit in his chair on national television and not do his homework. All right. That's pathetic. That's the type of pathetic analysis you get from these so-called soccer experts on ESPN. Okay. Now I'll give Taylor Twellman credit because he knows the game, and he can able to break it down, and he's a very good commentator. Okay. He's a very good commentator. He understands the game. He's able to break it down for even the common or the novice of soccer to understand. Okay. But he's one of the few.
Because the definition of insanity is doing the exact same thing, knowing the result.
Love it.
And if we don't change it, and I mean we, everyone in U.S. soccer, then what are we doing? What's the point? Because that should have never happened with the $1 billion plus that is going into Major League Soccer and youth development. That should have never happened, and it did. And every single person should look themselves in the mirror. And by the way, that's including myself. Yeah.
Well, no amount of money is going to do you any good if you're not putting the money in the proper place. Okay. A lot of that money is going toward World Cup bids. A lot of that money is being used to pay off the FBI, to do investigations on FIFA, to try and get these guys on that big FIFA scandal that was going on with Blatter and the rest of these guys. Okay, that's where the $1 billion is going to. It's not going to elevate the game in the United States. It's not going to the academy programs in the United States to get the best quality players that you can get. Okay, I can guarantee you that. All right, because it's been the same for, like I said, over a decade. It's been the same. All right. And that's not going to change. Maybe this will change. But, Gulati still hasn't resigned. And, he says he doesn't plan on resigning. So that lets you know right there what the mentality is within the federation. OK, that lets you know what it is. All right. He does not care. OK. All right. He does not care.
I'm part of U.S. soccer.
We're all involved.
I played for the program. It's embarrassing.
We're all involved and we're sick, and we look at what this team has been able to do, and a lot of times the criticism comes and they repel the criticism. The criticism, it's going to come in thick and fast. And I hear what you're saying now. The gloves are off at this point, and people got to be real.
Well, you and I have talked about this off camera. Well, guess what? I see that little red light. It's on, and I'm going to bring it up right now.
Okay.
The gloves should have been off years ago.
That's right.
We should have been having real criticism. And the discussion after Brazil, Max, was can we beat the Colombias and the Belgians and the Argentinas of the world?
No. Not even close. Okay? Not even close. No amount of American spirit is going to put you over the top, put you over Colombia. No amount of American spirit is going to put you over Argentina. No amount of American spirit is going to put you over Germany. Okay? It will not. Because the quality is not there. Okay? The players are not good. Look at this man's face. All right? He's pissed off. He's freaked out right now. You know? But I'm not going to shy away from any criticism from Taylor Twellman either, okay? Because, he's a pawn of ESPN, and, I'm about to let him have it in a little bit too.
You kidding me? We can't beat Trinidad on a field that's too wet and too heavy? What are we doing? What are we doing? This is the discussion that's being had. It's remarkable to me when I go on this stupid thing right here and how ignorant people are when the rest of the world, Belgium played Bosnia on a cow pasture. But we can't play in Trinidad with water on the field.
Serena brought that up. He says, bring the big boys of Europe here. And I'm like, why are we caught up in all of the outside noise? Why are we all...
It's an excuse. Now, listen,
is this an excuse?
This one bothers me. But
it does, but we throw it away based on what you
100%.
said. The U.S. have to get the
result. This goal never happened. But again, if you are relying on others to get your job done, then you can't rely on Panama, on CONCACAF, on referees. This ball never goes in. But if I read one more tweet telling me that Panama didn't deserve it, guess what? The United States has no business being in the World Cup because you can't beat Trinidad winless in their last 9 games.
I feel like
winless in the last 9.
Great for Panama. And you know what?
Phenomenal for Panama.
Congratulations to Panama. But you said we could.
All right, so here's the reaction on Fox Sports with Alexi Lalas and Stuart Holden, okay? Jason Whitlock and Colin Cowherd there in the middle. All right. Let's just listen to what they're going to say.
What's your reaction, Whitlock?
This morning I was...
Who probably doesn't know a damn thing about soccer, by the way.
I was out running errands and I was listening to your radio show and Lexi was on. And my original thought were about we fired Klinsman, basically halfway through the season or whatever. And that never works. The Cleveland Cavaliers fired their coach and Dave Blatt and
Well, it can work, okay? It can work if you have already have players in place that are of quality. Okay, of course it can work. All right? You can't compare the game of soccer to most of these American sports, okay? It's not an American sport, okay? It's not an American sport, all right? The reason why you can do it on the national team scale is because there's a pool of players that you can choose from. You can scrap the players and start choosing the players that you want to have on your team, okay? In the middle of the so-called season, as Jason Whitlock would just stated, all right? The reason why you can have success is because if you don't want to choose Michael Bradley for the qualifying stages, you can scrap him, okay? And you can bring in another player, okay? Now you can do that, all right? You can bring in the player that you want to suit your system or the type of culture that you're trying to instill in the locker room. All right? It can happen.
Tyronn Lue won a championship, but that rarely happens. When you fire your coach, that's pretty much an indication you don't have the right team, right system in place. But then I heard Lexi on your show talk about the lack of leadership, the lack of integrity, the lack of character. And I was like, wow, this team sounds like a reflection of American culture right now. We have a leader.
All right, man. We can't, go ahead and we can't politicize everything. I mean, of course, everybody wants to bring politics into every aspect of sports, but Jason Whitlock doesn't know how else to compare it to, and this is what he's going to compare it to. I don't completely blame him. He's kind of shifting away from what soccer is all about, but that's the only way that he can draw a comparison to. So I don't completely blame him, but let's keep going.
Leadership crisis pervasive throughout this country, and it's not shocking that our systems are breaking down. Even in the sports world, we have a bad system, a lack of leadership, a lack of vision pervasive throughout the country. And so our soccer team is a reflection. We got what I think we deserve.
Well, I mean, we played great against Panama, and then in a high school stadium, we can't beat Trinidad and Tobago. There's a lack of consistency. That always alarms me. Whether the Patriots win or lose, I get the same effort every week. Same with the Spurs. They're not going to win titles.
Again, these guys always comparing it to American sport, NBA, NFL. They always have to compare it to that, and that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem, and they do it for the novice viewer that's watching that doesn't really know a thing about soccer. But that's part of the problem. If you want soccer to be respected within the country, you just have to talk about soccer as is, okay? As is. All right? But, whatever.
Bothers me about U.S. soccer is I truly believe this is the most talented team we've had. Now, obviously,
Wrong.
Tim Howard and Dempsey are near the end, but Bobby Wood and
Dempsey should never have been there.
Pulisic and an older Josie Altidore.
Who is garbage, by the way. Okay? He is garbage. Okay? A waste of a body type, a waste of a specimen. Okay? This guy should be quality. But you know what? It was hard for him to break through in Europe. He decides to come back to the MLS. And then you expect him to put up big goals in big games? I don't think so. Okay? No way.
John Brooks, Jeff Cameron. I'm like, wow, we've got multiple players who I think can play internationally, and yet we're almost less consistent than we were 8 years, 10 years ago. So that's, to me, there's a system issue. I don't think it's a lack of talent. I watched us play
Oh, it is.
Panama. We were brilliant. We were world class.
I don't know about world class. We were CONCACAF class, but not world class. Okay, on a global scale, the United States cannot compete with top 5 teams. Okay, now don't get me wrong. The idea of any given Sunday. Okay, we did beat Spain back in the Confederations Cup, which was a huge win for us. But let's be honest, man. Spain did not take us serious. Okay, they did not take us serious, and that ended up hurting them in the long run. Okay, now it was quality